Hey y'all, it's me, Jacasta Lester. How are y'all? Hey yo, I've gone through a lot of weird medical and physical and environmental uh, experiences that have led me to believe that I may have been thrust into the middle of an active conspiracy. Okay, I don't want to be so extra. I don't want to be so dramatic about it, but y'all. I have dealt with them basically taking a very lax approach to what could very well be an infectious disease. I have been dealing with whatever this thing is. It leaves black specks all over the place. I've seen these black specks in other people's shared hard hats. When I was working at the hospital called Shared, I saw them. If you saw on one of my videos, there was a black speck that came out of my foot. I'm telling you, I saw these same black specks on the walls. I'm telling you that COVID, what they call COVID, because it's very similar, it has symptoms that are similar. I've read about how parasites kind of produce similar symptoms to COVID. And I'm telling y'all, I have yet to see this actual virus under a microscope myself. In other words, I haven't seen pictures of COVID outside of the artistic renderings of the disease. I don't know if they exist otherwise. I'm not quite sure. But I'm saying to you, here's my assertion, all right? Based on the mistreatment of myself when it comes to my diagnoses and these parasites and such, I have come to the conclusion that potentially what was an infectious disease that was caused by a parasite was perhaps labeled COVID and covered up many times over. And there were several people that died from what was this hyperworm or something, and they wanted to cover it up, but they're having trouble covering it up. So I say all of this to say that COVID, there's more than meets the eye to the disease. I don't want to disseminate medical misinformation. It isn't that. I myself have experienced some things medically that don't make sense. I've gone to doctors. I've tried to get diagnoses for these particular things that have crawled under my skin, have left actual specks. I gave y'all video footage of it just so you understand it's very real. There was a video where I used the restroom and I passed one in my urine. I am telling you, and yes, it's pretty graphic and gross, but I wanted to keep track of it openly. I want you to see how many times I've gone to the doctor. They have withheld albendazole on multiple occasions. Then, check this out. What I have found is, and y'all, please, please take this in the best way. I have found that the cells that they are using to actively activate against people who are of a particular race are the same race as the person that they're activating against. Yes, y'all call it gang stalking. The ones that come after you, when you know that a business has basically started to go awry, they look like you. They come into a place, and those are the ones that are there to target you and to take you out and to make things harder for you. You find that it's harder to get your prescriptions filled. It's harder for things to go right for you in those places when those people that showed up looking for you as the target show up. Okay? So, I mean this, and this is not to be bigoted toward black women. I'm saying when I go to places, it's fine when everybody else is there. Then this group shows up and it has not failed. The black women have shown up in places, and when they show up, in my case, for you, let's say you're Asian American, when you're in a place and you've been getting pretty fair treatment, it's been okay. The enemy transplants what are people who are there just to do their jobs. But what I've seen is when they bring a like demographic your way, it seems like it's more difficult to get those amenities that you've been getting in times prior. It's as though they use those people against you and you against those people. I don't know how it works in the spirit. I'm not quite sure why this happens, but that's what I've noticed. So I say all of that to say this. As soon as, I'm telling you, as soon as the cast switched, I'm telling you, all of the I would go to that doctor's office. I switched doctor's offices just to make sure that I got fair treatment. And I'm telling you, when I got there, It's been several hospitals I've gone to. I was diagnosed correctly the first time that I went. But what they've been doing repeatedly is misdiagnosing this worm also. They diagnosed it as scabies. Then they diagnosed it as pinworm. They diagnosed it as scabies, but then gave me albendazole. So it's interesting to see a doctor nearly cry while writing me a prescription. A doctor freaking out, okay, openly. I'm telling you, I dealt with that. I met with this guy face to face, and this is though he had some information that he wanted to share, but he was withholding. Okay? I went to another doctor's office, and it was a similar thing. They had that similar look on that face, on their faces, where they seemed to want to disclose some things, or they were just like, nah, we're not disclosing that. And in the second hospital instance, the entire hospital had people in it with what were coils in their skin. I'm telling you. So repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Have a blessed, marvelous day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I believe that there is an active conspiracy and a cover-up that's been perpetrated against me, at least, using the medical system. Mental health, they use that to make sure that they can make people not believe you when it came down to say something about it. So I say all that to say this. COVID has many layers, and I believe that people have been contaminated by what may be a parasite that they've called COVID. That's my take. I am allowed to speak freely by the First Amendment. Now, the YouTube approach to this particular situation, they violated the First Amendment all over the place. Just know that. So have a blessed and marvelous day, and you guys take care.